Hello and welcome again to Real to Real. Once again, a closed church is at the center of controversy, this time in Holyoke. There, a local historical commission is proposing the creation of a Polish Heritage Historic District on Lyman and Maple Streets in the city. The district, as proposed, would include Mater Della Rosa Elementary School, the Our Lady of the Cross Parish Center and Pastoral Office, along with the now closed former Mater Della Rosa Church, widely seen as the actual target of this district creation. Both proponents and those opposed to the measure have been very vocal about their respective viewpoints. Terry Hegarty has been following the story and tells us now why officials from the Diocese of Springfield and Our Lady of the Cross Parish are opposed to the measure.
Approximately 275 people gathered in the Holyoke Senior Center March 20th for a public hearing on the establishment of a Polish Heritage Local Historic District in the Maple and Lyman Streets neighborhood of Holyoke. The Fairfield Avenue Local Historic District Commission, which formulated the plan, hosted the hearing. While the district includes 28 properties and involves more than a dozen property owners, nearly all of the remarks from the 30 people who spoke focused on the now closed Mater Della Rosa Church on Maple Street. The district would include the church as well as Mater Della Rosa School, the adjacent Pope John Paul II Center, and the former convent. Jean DIETRICH says that Our Lady of the Cross Parish, which was formed when Mater Della Rosa Parish and Holy Cross Parish merged in 2011, has already been struggling financially, and that they simply cannot afford the burdens that would accompany the historic district designation.
The extra finances that would come into this because of having to have everything historical, we would be struggling. We would be very, very much in trouble.
Just last fall, parishioners were asked to increase their weekly contributions. Properties in a historic district are inherently more expensive to maintain and even more difficult to sell, because potential buyers know that they'll be subject to strict preservation regulations. Any exterior changes to the building must meet the approval of the Historical Commission. And such changes often are more expensive because the appearance must be kept historically accurate. If the church were to be sold, the proceeds from the sale would remain with Our Lady of the Cross Parish. Doug Locree is the father of 4, 3 of whom are enrolled at Mater Della Rosa School. He says the finances of the parish directly affect the health of the school and impact the tuition levels that parents must meet.
The school board here has done a fine job in conjunction with the finance team of the parish to try and balance those out and keep the tuition increases lower, also implementing financial plans for it. But clearly, those kinds of funds are going to be reduced if they're necessary for the upkeep, maintenance, and security of the former church.
Proponents of the measure feel that having the church in a historic district will protect it somehow. Many apparently believe that the diocese is interested in demolishing the church.
Much of this has been drawn about a baseless fear, and that is that the church is imminently in danger of being demolished. That simply isn't true. The parish nor the diocese has ever even discussed that. If you look at the diocesan record, the vast number of the buildings that become available through pastoral planning have been put into good reuse as buildings, intact buildings themselves. So they've scared a lot of people in thinking, the wrecking ball is right around the corner, and that, again, is simply not true.
We have no intention. That would be our last thought, would be to take down that beautiful church.
However, even if the church becomes part of the historical district, it will not reopen for religious services. Mark says the diocese has a history of working well with communities regarding similar properties.
I think people need only look at our track record. The vast majority of these buildings have been put to reuse, and a number of them through cooperative relationships with local officials. None of them through the heavy hand of a historic district.
An example of how a historic designation can hinder progress is the now closed Our Lady of Hope Church in Springfield. Diocesan officials say that since the designation, there has been no interest from others concerning the redevelopment of the building. Nearly all of the proponents of the measure spoke of the need for the Polish heritage to be preserved. But those opposed to the measure say that the Polish heritage is continuing, both at the parish and at the school.
I'm, for one, very, very happy with the Franciscans here. I'm very happy with the parish. It's evolving. I think we're stabilizing. I'm excited about the Polish history because that's part of my history.
Each Sunday, a Mass is celebrated in the Polish language, and many other traditions are continuing at the merged parish.
I feel for them. I understand where they're coming from. I understand the sadness of losing their church, but it's happening all over the country. It's happening. You just cannot keep that many churches afloat. So they have to kind of go where God is, not where the bricks and mortar are.
Jean says keeping a healthy parish should be the top priority.
We're afraid for our parish now. We don't want to lose Our Lady of the Cross.
The disposition of the Lyman and Maple Street area buildings will ultimately be determined in this building, Holyoke City Hall, where Holyoke City councilors will have the final vote on the proposal. Reporting from Holyoke for Reel to Reel, this is Terry Hegarty.
Terry tells us that Fairfield Avenue Historical Commission officials plan to present their report to the Holyoke City Council sometime in May. Both iObserve and Reel to Reel will continue to provide you reports on this story as it unfolds.